my goodness. And there it is. Wow, get the pin to go.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Bowl TV for the pregame show before the Stepladder finals at the PWBA Reno Classic from the National Bowling Stadium in Reno, Nevada. My name is Aaron Smith with Bowl TV, and we are excited to bring you this top four to determine the first champion of the Fall Classic Series. Bryanna Coté put on a dominating performance to earn the top overall seed, but Stephanie Zavala, Kelly Kulick, and Stefanie Johnson have their eyes set on the prize. We're going to bring in our broadcast team now as we get underway here in just a couple of minutes before the show kicks off on Bowl TV. So first and foremost, let's welcome him back to Bowl TV, Mr. Dave Lamont. Dave, it's great to see you once again.
Oh, I've got FOMO right now with you guys in Reno, but I am delighted to be with you again and looking forward to the two events that we have on Bowl TV tonight and Thursday night for the Fall Classic. What a great way to finish off an incredibly competitive season.
Absolutely, Dave. And you're going to be joined tonight by the Hall of Famer. You know her so very well, the 20-time PWBA Tour titleist, CDB, Carolyn Dorn-Ballard. CDB, hello.
Hi, everybody. How are you?
We are doing great. We are ready for a phenomenal Stepladder finals once again here on Bowl TV on PWBA Tour. What are you looking forward to today, CDB?
Well, it's funny. I have my phone. As you can see, I was following all day today. And here's some interesting things. So Bryanna is leading the event, but if you look at her scores, so I say this because I've been there 1,000 times. If you look, 211, 170, 240, 230, 190, 190, but winners, she won matches. Match play records are made from winning. It doesn't matter whether you win with a 170 and you gain the 30 and you stay even, right? So I think Bryanna had a great match play record with some of the games that she won. Were not high scores, but it kept that 30 pins bonus, so she never lost any ground. And then she bowled some pretty big games that actually moved her up the ladder. The other thing that's very interesting, and I'm going to let everybody in on a little tidbit of information. So Kelly, I know, was speaking to Dell earlier today, and we were chatting via text. I think Kelly was singing a few songs in her head tonight to kind of take Kelly's head out of the game. And Dave, I know you've watched Kelly bowl enough. Aaron, I know you've watched Kelly enough. The only thing that I think that holds Kelly Kulick back is this.
Mm-hmm. I hate to say, Carolyn, but you're right.
She overthinks. She knows what she's thinking, and she's smart. But this takes over. And I think she changed that going into that second round, and I think you're going to see a different Kelly Kulick.
I was hoping, Carolyn, that with Kelly, that winning this year and finally getting rid of that pressure that she has felt that got into her head over the years and getting back in the winner's circle would change that. But you're right. Physical game, no one's going to ever argue with that. And her successes from the past years, you can't ever take that away from her. But she can still be and has been super competitive this year. I think this is her 5th show, and with the one win. So I think she's very dangerous in this. You know, and she obviously, with opening up with Stefanie Johnson, those are two familiar foes, so there's not going to be anything awkward about this. They know each other. They know what they're doing. I think Kelly could be very dangerous if she can keep the noise, or maybe it's just country music, which I know she loves. Her line dance music, if she can keep that in there and not worry so much about what's going on out there.
Right, and I mean that in the most positive, sincere way. It's just, it's like this. Once you're a competitor, you're always a competitor. Once you're a thinker, you're always a thinker. You just have to learn how to put some of that aside and kind of put blinders on and know that it's point A to point B, and that's where I got to go. Other than that, it's like riding a bike. You just got to get back on and go.
Yeah, I'm not concerned about that with her. I think you brought up a great point. Stefanie Johnson's just in her second show of the year, but God, her experience is off the charts, as the same with Kelly, with all the Team USA work that she's done. And I think you look at the experience coming out of there to take on then the youth in the very next match. This is a really fascinating mix. And then Bryanna, I love what you said at the beginning, because the only bad news for her is those 30 points are going away. Now she's got one shot at it, and a 185 or 190 may not cut it tonight for the championship.
Right. And one of the things about Stefanie Johnson, so, I follow everybody on social media, and that's, I pick up some of my tidbits from that. And Steffi had made a comment saying how proud of herself she was, getting out of her comfort zone. And I watched her bowl a little bit. And I think one of the things that you're going to see Stefanie do that I want to say she always looked for the hold, right? Because she's a straighter player, likes to keep her angles shut down. But this week she was able to feed the ball to the right just a little bit and do it consistently. And I think that gave her a lot of confidence.
Carolyn, out of the four, since we're on a short 37-foot pattern here, does that favor any one of these four?
I think they're all, honestly, if I had to say, I like Stefanie, Kelly, and Bryanna for the three. I would think for Stefanie, meaning the other Stefanie, Zavala, I would think she's going to try to be a little further left, or she will choose to use her ball speed and try to get further right and just not try to hit it as much.
Okay. Yeah, this pattern, only 37 feet. Carolyn will get a little bit more into the details of how to play it, and when our telecast of the actual bowling begins at the National Bowling Center in Reno, part of this PWA, the Reno Classic. Of course, the Pepsi Classic is Thursday, and then the big one, the PWBA Players Championship on the CBS Sportsnet this weekend. So, Aaron, it's an interesting group of experience. Then you have Stefanie Zavala looking at the strong possibility of being the Rookie of the Year. And the year she's had, she's going to be I think, the wild card out of all four of these.
It's very rare, I think, to have a wild card who's looking for a third win of the season. But
true,
when you look at the experience level out here for this stepladder final, Stefanie definitely is the young gun looking to make her mark on the PWBA tour. And yes, she has increased her lead in the Rookie of the Year standings. So it is she's getting closer and closer to hoisting that trophy that's actually located here on site at the NBS. When people come up the escalator to the fourth floor, that's one of the first things you see is the Rookie of the Year trophy. So for Stefanie, and I think to echo CDB's point, she's been getting left very quick throughout competition here. She felt that was her strength on the way to leading qualifying and getting to a part of the lane where she wasn't necessarily seeing the traffic of the other players. But it's been a fun season to watch her progress from that first win back at the Greater Cleveland Open, the second win at the BVL Open. Can she make it a third title in her rookie season?
Well, all this is about to happen. You see practice is wrapping up. You can see Kelly and Stefanie Johnson about to begin their match. Two veterans, two champions on this PWBA tour. And I also think, Carolyn, there's got to be an enormous amount of satisfaction among everybody on the tour that they did it. That you had a full season, you had a successful season. You gained strongly at the end of the year by picking up a couple of network telecasts or cable telecasts. And this ends up, I think, being a terrific year for the PWBA and such a bounce back after everything that didn't go on last year.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think everyone also enjoyed that little bit of a break after August to kind of let them, refresh themselves and get a little more sharp in different areas that they felt towards the end of that swing. Hey, what am I lacking? Am I getting mentally tired? So it was a great little break. My other question I'd like to know, though, and I should know this, Stefanie, though, isn't she also in the race for Bowler of the Year as well as Rookie of the Year?
Well,
all that and more still to come.
She's certainly in the mix, CDB. So we're going to see. She needs a big week, though, to see if she can make it.
Okay.
All right, folks, we are having our final announcements here on site, so we're going to go ahead and end the pregame show. So if you're watching on Facebook or on YouTube, head on over to bowltv.com. Still time to pick up a subscription. 3 bowling ball giveaways coming up during the show. But Stefanie Johnson, Kelly Kulick, coming up next on Bowl TV. We'll be handing it off to Dave and CDB in just a moment. So thanks again. Reno Classic starting up next here on Bowl TV.
Practice has wrapped up. So Stefanie Johnson, Kelly Kulick in the first match. The winner to take on Stephanie Zavala. And Stefanie Johnson will begin on the left lane. 37-foot pattern, and Carolyn will get into that a little bit later on. And a mixer strike to get things started for Johnson.
Right here, you're going to see Stefanie get the ball further right than she normally does. And what I mean by that is Stefanie is usually looking for the hold in a pattern. And right here, this is what she had to do this week to make it to the telecast, and she did it very well.
Everyone recognizes the form of Kelly Kulick, multiple major champion and having a strong season this year. A little through the face, though, and she's fortunate to leave just the 1 pin behind. Kelly just beat out Verity Crawley for the 4th spot, but Verity is still a winner here because she has now moved into first place in the PWBA Player of the Year race. So that's something that's going to be decided, and it looks like it's absolutely coming down to the weekend. So to be corny, and we'll get the cliche out of the way, it's either going to be a trick or a treat for somebody come Halloween on the PWBA Tour. So Kelly Kulick moves over to the left lane. Carolyn, what about the characteristics of what the ladies are playing on tonight?
Well, 37-foot pattern, right? I mean, right there, rule of 31. You know the break point's going to be somewhere 6, 7, 8. Could be 3, 4, 5. Let's not forget we are also at the National Bowling Stadium. So let me tell you a little bit about the National Bowling Stadium. You're bowling in 3 different bowling centers, right? So I think the more these ladies bowled, depending on what part of the house you were in, you saw a little bit of difference where lanes got a little bit tighter. On some, the fronts went a little bit quicker. I'm not saying that I believe the National Bowling Stadium is super tough. Mm-hmm. I just think it plays very different. Again, there's 3 different sections basically, and as the week goes on, it changes. And you're going to see this now with the ladies now bowling on fresh. Kelly, if she gets around it at all, the ball is going to react just a little bit more off that pattern. You saw that here with the big 4. Her last couple practice shots didn't look very comfortable. Stefanie, with being comfortable now with getting that ball to the right and feeding it with a little bit of soft hand, really does probably have the better look.
Well, you saw the difference I noticed there, Carolyn, between Stefanie's strike and Kelly's big 4 was that Stefanie went farther right.
Yes.
And Kelly was sort of more with a straighter shot, and it went right through this nosedive through the head pin. And you see, again, the difference in the 2 approaches there. When we saw Kelly on that low angle, she wasn't as far right as Stefanie, who was open with a double.
Right. Right here, she's crossing at the arrows about 13 out to about, and actually that one only got out to about 8. On the left lane, she got it down on her first shot to about 6. And in some of her practice shots, when she got it down the lane to about that 6, 7, it came in and she got that light shaker. That right there is something that you're looking for when you are trying to feed your ball to the right. Those light shakers become the shot that you need.
And that one did not get as far right off her hand and almost caused her big trouble, but she's able to get away with a 6-10.
Yes, which right here you can see that barely gets to the right of the tracer, which is 10. but gets a break, leaves the 6'10", very spareable.
So a clear pattern already on this fresh oil is developed about what may be the road to success, at least in this game. As Zavala on deck, and at the top of the stepladder, Bryanna Coté.
Now, I have an interesting tidbit. Would you like to hear it?
Of course I do.
Okay, I have a very good friend of mine who's a Hall of Famer who said there was another Rookie of the Year who won 3 titles in 1 year. Can you name her?
Her. 3 titles in 1 year, Rookie of the Year. Active?
She should be active, but she is not.
Is she talking to me right now?
No. No, but she could hook the lane better than anybody I knew. So you can keep thinking about that. And when you think of a name, we can talk about it. Kelly got that one further right. Definitely got that one further right. But remember I mentioned how Stefanie was using more of a soft hand?
Yes.
Little bit of a softer hand. Kelly threw that one pretty hard. She's been working on her ball speed. So I think that's the angle she needs. Now I think she needs to add just a little bit of touch. And you know Aaron is Googling that right now.
He may not be the only one. Because you say active, but
no,
not
she's a
active,
member.
but
She's a
should
member,
be.
but she's not active, but she should be.
Would it be Tennille?
Nope.
Okay.
Ooh,
good.
we're going to wait 4 games to keep guessing names.
Not. All right. All right.
Okay.
The not active. Oh, wait a minute. Is it Linda?
Nope.
All right.
If I gave you the year, it would give it away, but I'm not giving you the year.
No,
I want to see what Kelly. Yeah,
right.
I want to see what Kelly does on this lane after the big 4. Let's see what adjustment she makes.
Yes, right now she's in desperate need of a strike when she doesn't have one. Stefanie Johnson opened with a double, then went 8 spare. Oh, goodness.
Didn't look like she really liked that shot. She moved a little deeper, tried to get it right. Definitely didn't get it right enough. Also, I don't think at this point, if Kelly is going to play there, she's going to have to be deeper. Kind of what Stefanie's Zavala did during the week. As she moved, she migrated quicker. Kelly's definitely going to have to make a bigger move or stay where you're at, and she's going to need to pick up her ball speed on that left lane and soften up on the right lane.
So Stefanie Johnson with a commanding opportunity here, given Kelly's struggles. And just flush. Good-looking ball. She's 2 for 2 on that right-hand lane.
Right here, again, you can see her crossing at the arrows about 14, getting it out to about 8. Nice, smooth motion off the pattern. So patterns that tend to be shorter, you're going to look for that ball motion that's controllable. Something that you can read, make moves off of. You're not looking for that big, sharp hook. And you're seeing that with Stefanie right now.
That, again, well, you see the difference. It's subtle, and she's very fortunate because Kelly has thrown almost similar shots and is not getting any fortunate bounces or breaks. But Stefanie is.
Definitely didn't get this ball as far right as she did in the beginning of the game, but this lane looks like it's definitely hooking up a little bit earlier than that right lane. So I would say at this point, both ladies need to make a move, and the moves this week have been to the left.
Stefanie, this is her second time on telecasts this year. And as a matter of fact, the tournament that she was on before was the PWBA Albany Open, and your winner, she just lap 5 with right there. That was Kelly's win. Kelly on TV now for the 5th time. And Kelly is still without a strike.
Yeah, it seems like she's not very comfortable at this point. She's feeling it out still a little bit. Like I said, her last few shots of practice, she didn't look comfortable. So again, you only have 10 frames, and it seems like a long time, but it really isn't. But this was
No.
but this shot was definitely much closer.
And Kelly knows that, having done many. She's been on TV a lot, one way or the other, either in working with us or bowling under the lights. So she understands how quickly these games fly by. Well, the one name I found on the PWBA list that fascinates me is Sabrina Duncan.
Mm-hmm.
Because wasn't that the name of Kate Jackson's character in Charlie's Angels?
Yeah. Actually, yes, it was.
It was. I am the right age to have remembered Charlie's Angels, trust me, the original. And so there finally, Kelly has X marking the spot.
Kelly getting a little bit deeper, laying it down about 18, 19, crossing at the arrows around 15, 16, getting it down to about 7. And again, now she's playing her game. Kelly likes to do that. She also likes to go straight, but her A game is being able to get that ball to the right and off her hand with just a little bit of speed, but not have to hit up on it.
Steph right now throwing a UC2 Rubicon. Boy, that looked like a better shot than a 7-pin there.
Right. A Rubicon, it's going to be a little bit cleaner, still read the middle part of the lane, but once you touch it with just a little bit of surface, it tends to just smooth out that back end reaction just a little bit, but still is very clean. And once the heads start to go on these shorter patterns, those are the balls you're going to start to see in the lady's hands. So great ball, obviously, great ball for her, number one. And she was able to play the lanes the way she needed to play them this week.
By the way, now Kelly has switched to that same ball. She had been throwing an IQ Emerald on the left and a UFO Alert on the right. Oh, one woman I know was Rookie of the Year, Carolyn, was Kim Terrell-Kearney.
Nope. Yes, she was Rookie of the Year, but nope,
Yeah,
that's not the answer.
All right, and it's not Liz because Liz is active.
Nope. Boy, that's okay. I'm actually chatting now.
Right, we'll get this.
On the text. I know you will. I'll give you
Because eventually I'll just name everybody on the list.
True.
And I'm stubborn that way, as you and everybody who knows me knows. So we'll get it figured out. In the meantime, Stefanie Johnson has a comfortable advantage, and barring it, the table being overturned on her, is in a position here, unless Kelly just goes insanely hot. But Kelly's best is 220.
Yeah, Kelly definitely needs to, she needs to keep striking, at least get another double, put maybe a little pressure on Stefanie. Stefanie definitely looks to have the better shot to the pocket.
And Steph, clean here. 236 is her best. So if Kelly does start to string him, she could make this an interesting match. And the ball change may be working out here for Kelly.
Ball change, just a little bit cleaner. Again, looks like she made that move to the left. Crossing about 18 at the arrows. Getting it down to about 6, 7. That's definitely the way she needs to be playing them. I liked the reaction, especially as the few days went on, or the day, I should say. The 1 day of, or 2 days of bowling. I like how people were getting it to the right. I felt those were the ladies that had the best chance to have the most consistent reaction.
For 3. Oh, Kelly's figured it out. And she is trying to ramp up the temperature in the building on Stefanie Johnson.
Right here, using her ball speed, getting it out onto the lane. Much better reaction. Smoother off the spot. Definitely what she needed to do.
So now, for the first time, Stefanie's facing a little bit of resistance from Kelly Kulick, and we'll see. It's unlikely Stefanie Johnson is going to panic and get nervous, because her experience all around the globe would preclude that from happening. But still, it's not as easy as it was a few frames ago when Kelly was struggling.
One of the things I love best about Stefanie Johnson's game is she always keeps the ball in the pocket. Very rarely do you see Stefanie, it's going to go Brooklyn, it's going to throw it out the window. I mean, everybody has bad shots. I mean, please don't get me wrong. I mean, that's not quite what I'm saying. But she's kept her game very simple. She has built on her good fundamentals, and she has made her game even stronger by using those basic fundamentals. And she always keeps the ball in play. I didn't want to say it till she shot the spare, but she's a very good spare shooter. And that's what I believe is her strong suit in keeping her in the hunt all the time.
I've always found her to be very confident in herself, too.
Yes.
At the times I've been around Stefanie, I don't remember too many times where she's walking around the bowling center moping or questioning why she's in there, even if she's not at her best physically.
Right.
I don't see her as I see her as a very strong mental player.
Yes. Great. Yeah, that's a great analogy, Dave.
That she needed, just because Kelly has found the right angle and the right shots right now, and Stefanie needed to break that string of 9s.
Right here, that shot was great. Hooked up just a little soon, high flush. I wonder if let's see. Oh, she finishes on the right lane. Okay.
But you notice the possible scores have gotten a little narrower. 225 now to what did I say? 220.
220.
Yeah. And nope, the 220 will not happen. Stefanie Zavala and Bryanna Coté yet to come. Bryanna at the top of the step ladder. And we'll get a little more into the player of the year, and we will try to solve the riddle that Carolyn has thrown at us. I have another name that's popped up that I'm going to ask about when it's appropriate.
Okay. And by the way, this 10th frame is big right here. If you look at the scores, not that I think anyone's going to open. I'm just saying there are possibilities.
Well, if Kelly strikes out, she will force Stefanie to mark.
Correct.
So Kelly's max now sits at 09. Or correction,
No,
190.
199.
Yeah, 199. Pretty. Boy, if there's anybody who wishes they could start this match over, it's her.
Mm-hmm.
What a difference.
Absolutely.
Man. And just the scores up there on your screen tell the tale of this match. Half of it not going Kelly's way, but class player that she is, she's figured it out. The problem is Stefanie Johnson hasn't made a mistake. Uh-oh.
Definitely misses way left. Never got that ball to the right. She knew it once she let it go.
So Stefanie Johnson's path has gotten super easy to move on to the next match. .189 for Kulick, and Stefanie Johnson, by all accounts, will be moving on. And Kelly's fifth TV appearance is a fourth place in Reno, and we'll see how she does in the upcoming Pepsi Classic at the National Bowling Stadium in downtown Reno. Well, she's going to have to clip one of these. And unfortunately, that's not one that's going to be good for your acid indigestion, that shot. But not surprisingly, she handles it with aplomb and officially locks down a spot in the next match. In an all Stefanie battle.
I believe she walked to the back too. Maybe going to try a different ball. You know, we've talked about that. The fill shot, great time to try something else to see what other motion you may be able to create. And if you don't use it now, it may be something you, by the time you get to the championship match, you might be looking for.
And so it'll be Stefanie Johnson nailing it down officially, 208, or 205, pardon me, to 189 over Kelly Kulick. And now Stefanie Johnson will take on Stephanie Zavala in the next match, with the winner facing Bryanna Coté for the PWBA Reno Classic title. And we got goodies from Aaron Smith as well. And Aaron, I know you've got something to give away, so we look forward to that.
I do, Dave. We are going to be giving away a Rotogrip bowling ball of choice. Rotogrip, a proud gold industry partner of the PWBA Tour. But before we do that, we'd like to run this ad from another great company that sponsors the PWBA Tour, Kegel. So after we finish this up, we will go ahead and start that giveaway. So be sure to look for the prompt in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen and click that submit entry button when it's time. But folks, let's hear it from Kegel. And then the Rotogrip giveaway coming up next. Once again, a big thank you to Kegel, the official lane maintenance provider of the PWBA Tour. Folks, once again, be on the lookout. Bottom left-hand corner of your screen in just a moment for the Rotogrip bowling ball giveaway. You'll see it count down. You'll see the prompt up there. Wait for that submit entry button. Go ahead, give it a click. You'll be entered for a chance to win. One lucky winner is taking it home. If you are in full screen mode, we do recommend that you take it out. Make sure you can see the chat on Bowl TV. So good luck to all of our viewers. Dave and CDB, back to you.
All right, thank you very much. You see, also, besides Stefanie, Bryanna Coté getting in a little practice. This is allowed before our next match. I believe that is the one and only Matt McNeil over there in the black shirt, keeping an eye on things. And we expect to hear from our friend Kelly Kulick in a moment, too, to talk to Carolyn and I about the match against Stefanie Johnson that Johnson won. You know, something else about Stefanie, Carolyn, is she's number 2 on the tour in average, a little over 212. So she can score as well as win those kind of grindy games like she did there with a 205 to 189 victory over Kelly. Jim Callahan from Storm advising Stefanie. So this is going to be interesting to see how she does again in this all Stefanie final or semifinal with Stefanie Zavala as making a big step. Brianna Clemmer is second in the Rookie of the Year race, but Stefanie, of course, making the show is going to pick up a ton of points and come really close, if not completely locking it down for the PWBA Rookie of the Year. And Carolyn, I was going to, was Kara Honeychurch the answer?
I did not hear that. I'm sorry, you broke up a little bit.
Is it Kara Honeychurch?
It is not Cara
Rookie of the Year?
Honeychurch. Keep going. Just keep. Did you? I could tell you the year. I'm going to tell you. It's
Well, tell me the year, I'll have it.
No, pre-1995. That's as close as I'm giving you.
All right. Well, I think Kelly's just about ready, so let's not keep her waiting. And let's bring our friend Kelly Kulick in for a conversation. Hey, Cal.
Hi, guys.
There was a moment where you got hot. What changed for you in that first game when you struggled a little bit and then you got going and made this a tight match? What was the difference?
There was really no clear picture in the 15 minutes of practice that I had on that pair. Ball would hook, I would go to something cleaner, then it would hook down lane, and I really struggled finding a crystal clear path to the pocket. And then, of course, I started to kind of make it hook in certain places. So when I made the other ball change, because I knew what I was using was not going to match up at all, I definitely got through it much better. Had the weak 10 on the right lane, just got a little right too fast and bleed it off. And then the last one, the second one, the 10th frame, had I struck out, I would have forced her to mark in the 10th frame for sure. And I just yipped it. I caught it. So physical error, but my ball reaction wasn't the greatest. And I think I was just trying to see a clear picture.
Well, I have two quick questions for you, Kelly. First was you had a slow start this week, and then you just bombed them in the second round. So what was the key there to getting you to move up the ladder?
I got an hour practice session in the night before. My flight was delayed and everything. So obviously from practice to competition, they were different. And they always are. There was more crispness in the back end, and they were tighter in the beginning on that first round. Second round, everybody started in, which we thought would be disastrous, but actually played to my game, to my A game. So more of the higher rip rate players definitely had a better advantage. Myself and Verity scored really well that second round and just had a better path to the pocket. Again, ball reaction was really good. I saw the break point kind of shift closer to me, and I was able to capitalize that when I shot the last 3 big games. So really, it was good last night.
Okay, just really quickly, because I know the next match has started. Do you think the ladies who can move further left quicker tonight on this TV pair have an advantage?
Stefanie Zavala made him look like Liget sometimes. Bryanna was able to stay to the right, and I think that's the better place to go, not to open up the angles too much. Right now, the middle seemed to be hooking a lot more on both lanes. I think that can be problematic as the games progress. So I'm not really sure. I think straighter is greater right now.
Awesome. Thanks,
Thank
Kelly.
you,
Great
Kelly.
week.
We'll hope to see you Thursday. So Stefanie Zavala opened with a solid strike. Stefanie Johnson has her first real big error of the evening by going through the nose and leaving an unfortunate 3-6-7.
Definitely played this a little bit straighter. I don't know if she went to the ball that she used on the fill shot. I am not sure. I'll need confirmation on that. Looked like it hooked on the back end just a little bit more, but definitely a makeable split.
yeah, with her skill and experience, I think she absolutely has a shot at this. And went wide. So her first open frame, the good news for her is she's getting it out of the way early.
So Stefanie did change balls, went to a Rotogrip hyped pearl, which is going to react just a little bit more off the dry. So we'll see when she gets back up on that right lane if she makes a move. Again, she didn't get that ball as far right, so it may just be as simple as, again, feeding it to the right like she was in that first match.
Yeah, nope. We now have another ball change here for Stefanie, Carolyn. She's throwing a Rotogrip hyped pearl. And
Yes.
Stefanie Zavala has the RST X2.
Yes.
Thank you to our spies for that.
Mm-hmm.
So Stefanie Zavala having a terrific rookie year. She's sixth in earnings so far this season. Making her fifth show. Look at that. Beautiful ball speed.
That RST X2 is a ball that will allow her, that ball is going to be clean, but read the mids right there. Nice smooth motion off the back where she can get left and it's not going to run out of energy. Again, I think she is going to migrate further left than both Stefanie and Bryanna. So it'll be interesting to see if, as you migrate left, one person will have a good look, and as someone migrates right, will they be able to produce the same thing?
Now, right now, she is perfect through three and looks like she has figured this out. So Johnson, who had a clean match against Kelly Kulick, opened on this right lane in frame number one. Not that time. Gets a little revenge. Did she throw that ball a little harder?
Definitely picked up her ball speed. Got it just a little bit further right than that first shot. But again, this is a ball that's going to allow her actually the hyped pearl with, again, she's not using it dead shiny. I know it looks like that sometimes when you're looking, at the show, but I do know they touch the surface just a pinch, which allows it just to take away that sharper motion on the back. And with the ball speed, it's going to allow it to be just clean enough for her to be able to maybe create a little hold.
And I see a sleeper back there.
She didn't throw this one as good. As you can see, the ball roll's quite different. One of the things I know Stefanie has worked on is when she gets on the side of the ball a little bit too quick, she gets a little more of that side rotation so her ball does not pick up. She has worked very hard on making sure her ball stays underneath the ball as long as possible so that when she gets around it, her ball is picking up more in the middle part of the lane.
Yeah, that will. Wow. I am shocked at what I just saw there. I was about to tell everybody that's a routine make for Stefanie because the professional handles that normally with a high percentage rate of makes, but an open frame for Stefanie Johnson, her second of the match. And the door is open for Stefanie Zavala to build a big lead as we approach the halfway mark. And she tripped out that 8-pin.
I'm not sure she thought she had that when she let it go. Comes back with a fantastic shot right here, playing way deeper, crossing 20 at the arrows, getting it way out to about 7 down lane. Great reaction.
So Stefanie Zavala in great shape right now. And I'm not going to get enough of a tap on that 10 to cause any damage for Stefanie Johnson, who needs that kind of break right now.
Yeah, much better shot by Stefanie right here. Still playing basically the same part of the lane she was the first match. I think this ball's just a little bit too weak. If I were her, after she makes the spare, she right now is in a situation where she needs to try something because Stefanie does have a good look to the pocket. I would probably, my first thought would go back to the ball I used the first game and make a move on the lanes with that, get a read, and then make a decision.
So Stefanie covers that 10. Apologies for a microphone issue on my end. Bryanna Coté standing by for the winner. Yeah, pretty shot.
A little bit more ball speed. Angles are actually shut down just a little bit more. Need to have a few more of those in the next few frames.
Stefanie Johnson trying for her 4th career title. Oh, good speed on that shot. That was a wicked throw. And the 7-pin was the last to join the party. Beautiful shot.
So right here, this is what you're going to see about people that have a higher rev off their hand. Right there. Throwing those pins around, throws one across the deck. It takes out the 7. One of the keys that I have seen with Stefanie throughout this season is she has been able to move to a different part of the lane than the other ladies that she's bowling against. So that gives her a part of the lane that no one else is going to touch. And I think that's been an advantage.
Yeah, she's touching a lot of pins. 3 in a row again. Her second string of 3 straight, with the spare in the middle of the meat of that sandwich. Stefanie Johnson, by the way, has made a ball change to a Rubicon UC2.
She's going back to the ball. Well, I would think she used that the first game.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, she
I
did.
think you're right. You are correct. Because remember, Kelly switched to that ball too, didn't she? At one point when
That
she
is
got
correct.
she started to string some strikes before she missed out at the end.
Correct.
Yeah, she made
Yes.
the change. Yeah, so this seems to be the ball of choice. See if Stefanie can mount a comeback here, but right now the odds are stacking against her. Soft 10.
Much better shot. Lights the motion of that ball. I'm sure she made a move on the lane just a little bit. One of the keys, especially when you only have 10 frames, I mean, you're going to make a move on the lane, you have to take a chance. But to me, I always felt like I'd rather go light and leave something spareable than go through the nose. So, again, this is spareable. It was a great motion. Stefanie knows what she has to do.
The problem is Stefanie Zavala knows what she has to do and is executing it beautifully right now. 279 is Stefanie Zavala's high score, potentially. And 206 is the best that Stefanie Johnson can do. All right. Going back to Carolyn's question, which was so long ago, we're probably going to have to repeat it to those who may just be tuning in.
Oh, no, I'm getting text messages like crazy, by the way.
Oh, I'm sure you are.
Just letting you know.
And we have PWBA Hall of Famers like Pat Costello and Lori Nichols who are in the chat. Whomever else is talking to you. I mean, I've come up with 2 more names now that you gave me that seem logical because they had splendid careers. One is Kim Adler.
Good guess, but no.
The other is Tammy Turner.
Good guess, but no.
Okay, now I'm just going to read the rest of the list, and you're
Nope,
going to
you're
finally
not.
say yes. Oh, yes,
No,
I
you're
am.
not. I'm going to give you another hint.
All right.
And just wait, Stefanie, this ball missed a little left, but she leaves herself a 6-pin. This match is pretty much well over. I mean, after she makes the spare, obviously she should, with one more frame, good to go.
And the question that Carolyn posed is, because we talked about Stefanie Zavala, if she wins this tournament, she'll have 3 wins in her rookie year. And Carolyn said...
And Carolyn said there was another rookie of the year who had 3 wins in a year. And I said it was pre-1995.
Right.
So I'm going to give you one more hint, and you're all going to know it, because I already had 2 people text me the correct answer. 1987.
Paula Drake.
No.
Yeah, that's what it says here.
I said the person that hooked the lane.
Well, Wendy McPherson was 86.
I said had 3 wins in their rookie of the year.
Right. Well, I have 11thframe.com as my source.
I don't know about that.
So.
Ready? Do you want the answer?
Of course I do.
Leanne Holzenberg.
Okay, because she's not on my list.
Well, I'm just saying.
Okay, that's interesting because my source and your sources are different.
Mm-hmm.
So
well, my source is my source is the bowler itself.
Okay, well, I believe Leanne, but here's the difference. And Jason Thomas is helping me out with this.
Yes,
Jason's pointing out that she was the Bowling Digest Rookie of the Year.
Oh, okay.
So that may be the difference there.
Gotcha.
Yeah, gotcha. I was going off. I know 11thframe.com is it's Emil who's coming up with this for us. Jason, Emil, you're all over the place. I don't know who to trust anymore. But no, Emil is around also, and he's been feeding us some information. I know the bowling ball stuff has been him, so it's very much appreciated, Emil. And he's the one who's mentioned it's Bowling Digest. Either that or he's changed his name to Jason Thomas, or Jason has changed his name to Emil. Whichever is going on here. So we actually had two different sources. So, Carolyn, I would have gone the rest of the night and not guessed.
Okay. So, no. So I have the tidbit on this.
Okay,
I have the tidbit on this. That was the year the tours split. Paula was Rookie of the Year on the tour, did not win 3 titles that year.
Okay.
Leanne, when the tour split, won 3 titles.
Wow. Okay.
This is good history. We're going to have to
This
get Aaron on that. Yeah. Great shot by Stefanie. Good finish here. I love that she went to the other ball. I think, again, we all, we change on a fill shot just to see what we have. If it gives us a good look on that one shot, at times we try it. But definitely going back to the other ball was the right decision. Great week here for Stefanie, and we're going to see her, I can guarantee you, a lot more.
Well, maybe as soon as Thursday.
Exactly. I was going to say, this week.
Yep. And you got the weekend also for the PWBA Championship on CBS Sportsnet. And, yes, Stefanie Johnson, I think you just get a good vibe with a building. And even if they change the pattern up on you, if you feel comfortable once, why not feel comfortable 2 more times? So.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Now, that might not make it. No, didn't, but that's okay because this match was decided probably on that second run of 3 straight strikes for Stefanie Zavala. So it'll be Stefanie Zavala looking for that 3rd title in her rookie year. And Bryanna Coté, who is the number 1 seed and is trying to make a splash in the PWBA Player of the Year pool. And we'll talk about that and her position and relative to all the other players when we get into the next match.
Right. That shot right there with Stefanie, as powerful of a ball as she throws, that is one shot right there where she fell a little off balance.
Mm-hmm.
Every now and then you'll see Stefanie, her swing tends to wrap around her back just a little bit. I know, when I bowled in the beginning of the year and I chatted with her a little bit, she felt like it gave her a little bit of a problem on her spares. When she gets a little quick and a little muscled on getting that swing back, I think she gets a little ahead of herself, and it tends to, get her a little off balance. But when she actually allows her swing to drop from the top, it's absolutely going in the right direction every time.
So Stefanie Zavala with a 233-194 victory over Stefanie Johnson, and she is a match away from that 3rd title. But she'll have to go through Bryanna Coté to do it, and that is not going to be easy. Aaron Smith, you have more to give away, and let's get right to it.
Yes, we do, Dave. We're going to have another giveaway coming up in just a moment here on bowltv.com for all the great viewers out there enjoying the Reno Classic. We'll have Stefanie Johnson joining us in just a moment as well. But as we wait for that, we're going to have our second giveaway. A Brunswick Quantum Evo Solid is going to be the bowling ball of choice coming up for one lucky viewer. So a big thank you to Brunswick, a proud gold partner here on the PWBA Tour. But before we get to that, we're going to run this quick ad for Brunswick. So after that concludes, we will kick off the giveaway.
The Quantum Evo series celebrates the evolution of technology within one of bowling's greatest series of balls, the Quantum. The keystone for the Quantum balls has been the mushroom-shaped core, and this is where our engineers started developing the next evolution of easier revving, more versatile Quantum bowling balls. For more information on our Quantum Evo series and other Brunswick bowling balls, visit our social media platforms and also brunswickbowling.com.
All right, folks, there we have it. The Quantum Evo up for grabs here on Bowl TV. So that prompt's going to be up there. Be sure to click that submit entry button. Good luck. One lucky winner taking home a Brunswick Quantum Evo right here on Bowl TV.
Well, it doesn't hurt to have those two guys. Yeah, it doesn't hurt to have those two guys selling your bowling balls. Now, does it? Amleto and Dom, that's a nice combination to have throwing your product. So hopefully we'll have Stefanie Johnson here momentarily. Suspect we will before this match begins with Bryanna, looking for her third title and her second this year. She won down in Arlington at the ITRC. And her first title was the PWBA Lexington Open in 2016. And, of course, she's got a ton of international experience, too, and has had a very distinguished career. Top seed runner-up in 2018 at the USBC Queens. She's in the Central Missouri Athletic Hall of Fame. Was a Rookie of the Year at Central Missouri in 2005. Wow, how about 2005 instead? So I think Stefanie is ready to chat with us.
I wish I wasn't, but yes, I'm ready.
I know. I'm sure you'd like to have delayed the interview another game or so.
Absolutely.
There was a bit of a difference between your match with Kelly and the beginning of the match with Stefanie. What changed there?
I mean, honestly, I didn't have fantastic ball reaction even during Kelly's match. The picture wasn't very clear for me, so we just put a ball in my hand that we threw in the fill ball. We decided to start with that ball for the second match, and then it just really wasn't the right shape. So, and I was already down quite a bit there in the match. I just felt like, well, I needed to see something different if my eyes were actually telling me what I was seeing was correct, and it was a little too late.
Well, the thing I liked watching you bowl for the last day and a half is I enjoyed your post, and really that's why I want to talk about it, is you do like to use your ball speed to your advantage, be a little bit more straighter through the fronts, and really this week, as the lanes broke down, I keep saying week, 2 days, you had to move a little left and get your ball to the right and have it shape off the pattern, and you did it very well. So I know this is something you've been practicing, but you looked very confident doing it.
Yeah, I went to Utah for a little tune-up before I came out here. Worked with those guys out there with some layouts on some different balls. We punched a few, and those actually ended up being the balls I threw today, which was the X2 and the UC2, a little bit of the height. But yeah, the picture is just a lot clearer. I've been working on getting steeper. Obviously, that's not something I typically do, but this pattern definitely dictated that's how you needed to play it. So if I was going to be relevant at all, that's what I had to do and just get a ball in my hand that allowed me to see that shape correctly.
Well, it looked great out there. Yeah, it looked great. It really did.
Well, thank you. I'm sure you look fabulous. I can't see you, but you always do.
She's definitely talking to you, Carolyn. I know that for a fact.
I love Carolyn.
Maybe we'll see you Thursday.
That's the plan. I hope to talk to you guys a lot. No matter what the capacity is, just being here, being able to chat with you, getting your adrenaline pumping and your knees knocking a little bit. Those are those moments that we work hard for. I don't walk away this week as a champion, but I'm certainly keeping my head up. I'm really proud of how I executed, and that's what I'm taking away.
Well, awesome. Don't walk away tonight as a champion, but you've started another tournament tomorrow, the Pepsi Classic, and you may well be back on for us on
it's a new
Thursday,
day.
So we will look forward to that. Yeah,
new day to be great.
Awesome. Thank you, Stefanie. Congratulations.
Thanks. Bye.
See you later, Stefanie Johnson, joining us. And there you go, Carolyn. That's that mental her attitude that I referred to during the match.
Correct.
That keeps her. I really think her mental game is her strength. Obviously, she knows the physical part in and out, as you all do, but her mental approach is just outstanding.
And isn't it amazing how? And see, I pick up on what people say because I like to elaborate on that a little bit because they give us a little bit of insight as to what we as the spectators may not see. So she bowled a great first game, and I think it looked like she had a great look. I loved the way her ball was motioning on the lane, right? And yet she says, I really didn't have a clear picture. So isn't it amazing? I mean, sometimes you could see someone bowl well, right? But in their mind, It's still, it's close. It got me through, but it's not the right thing. Or we tend to, as athletes, try to overanalyze it and think ahead before that moment, is actually there. So very interesting to hear that analogy.
I think that happens a lot in this sport. I really do. We are ready to begin our championship match for the PWBA Reno Classic from the National Bowling Stadium. And it'll be the number 2 seed starting on the left-hand lane, Stefanie Zavala against the number 1 seed, Bryanna Coté, both seeking a 3rd PWBA career title.
So one of the things I always talk about in the championship match, right, Dave, is how the person who is leading chooses who starts, right? Start first, finish last. So again, I keep calling her Bryanna. I know it's Bryanna. Will finish the match first, but I don't think Stefanie had a bad lane. So to me, it comes down to which lane is best for me.
Yeah, that's interesting because sometimes you want to make the opponent uncomfortable, and
Absolutely.
in your opinion, that's not going to happen here. So
No.
this is all about
Comfort.
Bryanna being a little selfish
Right.
in a good way. And it's
Yep.
a great start.
And again, you're going to see Bryanna be a little bit further right. She's not going to open up the lane a lot. She's going to use her ball speed to her advantage, keeps the ball a little bit more in front of her, but they're still playing close to the same break point. So again, great lesson for everybody who's watching. It doesn't matter how you throw the ball. You can still play the same break point. You just get there a little differently. One is not better over the other as long as you can repeat and do the same thing.
Look out there. All right, fortunate to walk away. That was the first match of our 3 this evening that both players opened with a strike, but Bryanna not able to double.
Right here, this left lane has been the lane, though, that gave the other ladies a little trouble. Had to make the move on it. I think her ball definitely picked up. I think the left lane is definitely hooking a little bit more. So she will make the spare, and the next time on this lane, I would think she's going to move just a little bit left of that.
Championship appearance number 5 for Coté. With 1 win this year. And this is a rematch. These two met for the PWBA Greater Cleveland Open Championship match, and that's when Zavala stepped up and picked up her first championship this year and won it comfortably, 247 to 216. Whoa. How often do you see that?
That's a little bit different. Definitely didn't get this ball to the right, as far right as she had been. You'll see right here. Only getting out to about 9. She's been getting that ball to 6, 7.
I mean, you frequently see that with the 7 pin,
Right.
but not without.
Right. Well, this is just not a common everyday leave.
And wide right on that.
Good attempt at it.
Well, I think she has
might
to
have
go
had
for it.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. This
Well,
is
you make the baby split. You make the baby split. You hope you send the pin over.
Right.
Gives you your best chance.
Yeah, you can't mess around here. There's not another match after this. Not until tomorrow when they start up again. Our pattern, by the way, for just joining us, is a short pattern, 37 feet. Look out there, a nasty hook and a fortunate break on a trip 6.
This is where, again, remember I just talked about this towards the end of the last match, I believe it was.
Mm-hmm.
When she gets just a little controlled with her swing, then she tends to pull down on it a little bit, and that's where she's missing left, getting her hand around just a little too soon. She needs to go back to the thoughts, kind of like we talked about that mental game, right?
Yep.
She has a good look. She needs to just sit there, get back to her mental focus, right? What was she focusing on that gave her the best look on the lane? And just continue to do that.
Not the first time I think we've had a ringer from anybody this evening. And it sticks Coté.
Fantastic shot by Bryanna. One of the things that I like to bring up when she's bowling, and I know I've told her I do this, but she throws 14-pound equipment. So anybody that ever asks me, oh, I can't throw 14, oh, I can't do, yes, you can. Because she makes it look awful good. And she's made 5 shows this year. I would think it's okay. And 1.
Well, she's in a position now for the Player of the Year race, too. We talked a little bit about this at the beginning, but given that she is now on our cameras, we definitely want to mention where we are for Player of the Year with 2 tournaments remaining. And right now, Verity Crawley, who finished 5th, Kelly Kulick just edged her out, I think, by a little less than 20 pins overall, counting match play and everything. Verity is now number 1, with Shannon O'Keefe number 2, Dasha Kovalova, who fell from 1 to 3, and in 4th, there's Bryanna. And a win will not move her past Dasha, but it's going to secure that number 4 position with 2 events to go.
Yep, amazing, isn't it? So that, I'd like to know the stats. Obviously, everyone will have them going into the next tournament tomorrow. Great shot, by the way. Playing the lanes very similar. Remember, she went high here. Definitely got that one further right. She uses her ball speed to her advantage.
And the interesting thing that's going to happen when they come back to the stadium, the field comes back tomorrow. There's a good-looking shot there. So a double for Stefanie Zavala as they will be back at the National Bowling Stadium for the Pepsi Classic, bowling on a 43-foot pattern for the next 2 days. And we'll have our championship again, 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 Nevada time. And that'll be on Thursday. So right back at it will be this field. And different pattern, different everything. And we'll see who can, out of the 4 we had tonight, Kelly Kulick, who was 4th, Stefanie Johnson 3rd, and then we'll have this championship match. Can somebody make 2 in a row? Oh, pretty.
2 great shots by Stefanie. You know, you have to look at her, and when you watch her bowl, she basically does something no one else does. She plays a different part of the lane. She gets way deeper, quicker than everyone else. And honestly, it doesn't matter what pattern she bowls on. She can always have an advantage. It reminds me of a lot of bowlers. I mean, Michelle Feldman did that. I mean, she had the highest rev rate on tour. She could move way left of everyone else. Anne-Marie Dugan in her day, Leanne, and nobody was going to touch them. So that is what Stefanie reminds me of. No one's going to be in her part of the lane.
Both bowlers, Roto Grip Hustle PBR. Actually, I'm sorry, that's for Bryanna.
Right. That ball.
Yeah.
That ball right there, she did not get that ball as far right. Right here, you're going to see it crossed about 14. Did not get any further right than about 9. Picked up, and sometimes that ball, that's what that does. Especially when there's a lot of friction in that one part of the lane, in the mid lane there. It's just 37-foot pattern. You know, we're in the 4th game, right? So you're going to see a lot of transition, ball after ball, and the moves probably, they need to be a little bit quicker, because you're trying to get your ball to the right, which means if you hit the friction early, like Kelly had said, you're going to see your ball jump off the pattern.
Well, a big error there for Bryanna, missing on the 3-6-10, and that is going to put her in a tough spot because Zavala has picked up after her open frame, which was that bizarre 3-4-10 leave. But she's come back with 3 straight strikes, and now Bryanna faces a little bit of mounting pressure. We'll see how she responds on the left lane where she struck in her last appearance. Is it time for an equipment change?
Well, you have to look at where you're at in the match. Here's what happens. As bowlers, we do this. On the right lane, ball hooked up. She didn't get it as far right. So what do we do on the left lane? I think we overcompensate, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like the old, oh, I mishit the one on the right lane. So what do we do on the left lane? We make sure we throw it really good. So I'm not sure, because I actually like her ball choice. Beginning of the match, I think she had a good look. If this goes back to the bowler,
Right.
if the reaction is close, which I think it is, and she looks like she's throwing it very well, then to me, yes, could be time for a ball change, and she may have to make a move on the lane. She may not be able to stay in that zone. She may have to chase it left. She's not going to be as far left as Stefanie, but she's definitely going to be off of where she is now.
Well, Zavala's had 4 strikes and then one really odd leave. Otherwise, she's just flushing these things. Oh, she got one kind of funky strike, but she's flushing them otherwise.
Right. The one I believe in the third, if I'm not mistaken, was Brooklyn.
Yes.
But other than that, she made the move on the left lane. She's made good shots on the right lane. Her ball is doing something that no one else's ball is going to do. And again, she's able to Go ahead.
No, go ahead, please. No, that's all right.
It's okay. I was just going to say.
I was just going to add that you're right, the third frame. That was the strike where she had that sort of back trip on the 6.
Right.
When she looked down
and that's almost identical right there.
Wow. You know, there's a universal language, Carolyn. When bowlers stand straight up after a shot, they hate the shot. It's universal.
And I have to tell you, it went high flush Brooklyn and tripped the 6 just like it did in the third frame. So, but again, the 4 in between the 2 Brooklyns were high flush. Or I should say 3, sorry.
So Coté's in a tough spot here, and she comes through with a lovely mixer.
Looks like she moved just a little bit deeper. She crossed about 16, 17 at the arrows, I believe. Trying to see here. Actually, about 15. Getting it to the right. Trying to catch just a little bit more of that oil in the front and the middle part of the lane so that when she does, if she does leak it to the right just a little early, hopefully it'll blend out just a little bit. The ball she's using actually should help do that.
We feel like this is a huge shot for Bryanna. Beauty. Just sense there, Carolyn, that if she didn't double, that she was going to be in a little bit of hot water.
Absolutely. This was a must strike. Keep her in that match. Apply just that little bit of pressure. And here's the thing. The way you look at that mentally is Stefanie needs to look at it and say, you know what? She made a move. She blew the rack. She's got a good look. You have to assume your opponent's going to strike.
Oh, my. And just when we were about to tell you what the max scores are, which was Zavala 266 and Coté 227, this happens.
Right here you can see looks like she spun that one just a little bit. It was a little bit more spinny where she's been dead behind it and getting around it, and the ball just never picked up.
Well, I've seen this made this summer, but it's a low percentage shot. And she took the punishment and got the maximum realistically out of that. But, wow, that is a deflating moment in this match. And now her maximum shrinks 36 pins to 230. So this is where the young bowler will show her mental strength as much as her physical strength, being able to bounce back. There you go.
That shot to me right here looked, I'm going to say this, but it looked like she threw that ball hard, aggressive, and she gave it all when she was at the foul line, because you could see her body language into it. She was angry about that shot on the right lane, which is all good by me. And it was a phenomenal shot.
Looks like we're headed for something we haven't had yet, a 10th frame finish.
Ball coming in just a little bit light, leaving a 2-pin, very spareable. Match not over yet. Actually started this ball in a little bit deeper, crossed about 17 at the arrows. So again, there's plenty to move into on this shorter pattern. I mean, I wouldn't say shorter, but 37 feet, I believe, correct? There's definitely plenty to move into, but you have to make sure that when you do miss left or you get it in where the majority of that oil is, you need a ball that's going to roll off that spot, or you're going to do it with your axis rotation, which is what obviously Stefanie can do.
So now Coté, and she's going to take a re-rack here, can come up with a 206. If she does punch out, she will force Zavala to mark.
That ball was way left off her hand. As soon as she let it go, you could see her body language a little bit. She missed way left on that shot. Went high. This left lane did not have much forgiveness tonight. When they got it to the right a little bit early, it hooked. Again, if you didn't give it enough angle, it hooked on the back. This was the tricky lane of the two.
So looking to finish with a 194. And Stefanie Zavala in a pretty good position to nail down a third championship in her rookie year, which has been done before. Hall of Famer Leanne Hulsenberg did it.
Toot toot.
And she's got a 900 global reality on the fill ball. But this tournament is in the hand of Stefanie Zavala. She just needs 8 on 2 shots if she strikes on the fill. Pretty solid. And so Stefanie Zavala, she could consider posing with that Rookie of the Year trophy on her way out if she wants to, although it's not officially hers, but she's got a third title in her rookie year. And for the second time, beats Bryanna Coté in a championship match. She did it in Cleveland and now send it out a few time zones west, and Stefanie Zavala will win this one as well. Your champion, Stefanie Zavala of the PWBA Reno Classic. And she is off to find that trophy after a couple of hugs for this tournament. But well, it just about nails it down for Rookie of the Year.
Absolutely. And honestly, you don't see that come along every day. You really don't. You do not see the talent that Stephanie has where someone just can create a whole different part of the lane. No one was going to get that deep tonight with Stephanie with that amount of ball speed, with the rev rate that she has. So it's an amazing thing. She's been able to take advantage of it. But again, hats off to all the finalists because, again, I always say this. I want everybody to watch these shows realizing that you don't have to throw it one way, that there's multiple angles to be successful on the women's tour.
Well, before we talk to our finalists, let's get things back to Aaron Smith, who's got another giveaway for you as we wrap up our evening. Go ahead, man.
That's right, Dave. Good people. We got one more bowling ball giveaway for you before we close up the show here today at the Reno Classic. A bowling ball giveaway from Storm, a Storm bowling ball of choice. So we're going to have that coming up right after our ad from our gold partner here on the PWBA Tour, Storm. So we'll be right back with that, the giveaway right after this commercial break.
We won a lot of professional tournaments. We won a lot of tournaments worldwide. I mean, we won more in the last 10 years worldwide than any company. We make good bowling balls, and good players use our bowling balls because they can win with them.
All right, folks, with that ad, big thank you to Storm once again. A Storm bowling ball of choice to one lucky winner here on bowltv.com. Wait for the prompt in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. Make sure you are out of full screen mode and can see the chat. And click that submit entry button. One winner going to take it home. Congratulations to our first two winners today, Kevin and Earl. But Dave, CDB, going to throw it back to you.
All right, thank you very much. Again, your winner, Stefanie Zavala, taking the PWBA Reno Classic. Only 2 tournaments left on the slate for these super talented bowlers, and they're going to go right back at it tomorrow. And it'll be the PWBA Pepsi Classic at the National Bowling Stadium. And then, of course, the PWBA Players Championship to wrap things up and determine the Player of the Year for this ended up being wonderful 2021 season, with a new star emerging in Stefanie Zavala, picking up a 3rd win in her rookie season, which is not unprecedented, but pretty rare in the history of women's bowling for anyone to have a rookie season like this. And we will be hearing from her in a moment. Carolyn, it was interesting. The youngest player won this one. We opened up with 2 real veterans in Stefanie Johnson and Kelly Kulick, Stephanie winning, and then the all-Stephanie match went to Stefanie Zavala. What was Stefanie Zavala able to do that the others were not?
And you're asking me, right? Okay, yes, because I thought, I'm sorry, I was getting ready. I thought we were going to do an interview.
Well, I think we'll talk to her too, and I'll ask, but
yes,
I'd like to hear from you first. Yeah.
No, absolutely. It's what I've been saying all night. Far and few between do you see a player come out. And this is, the men, obviously, there are more men that have higher rev rates. You see a lot more two-handed bowlers. Very rarely are you going to see a woman come out with a very high rev rate, be able to play a part of the lane that not many are going to get to. And that's what Stephanie does. When Stephanie moves, if she's playing, just picking numbers, if she's playing 15 to 8, her move's probably going to be 23 to 8. Everybody else is going to migrate slowly because of rev rate, because of ball speed. There's a lot of factors that go into it. But she is able to do something with her natural talent that not many can do. Kelly, do I think she could have gotten as far left as Stephanie? I do. But again, Kelly doesn't have the ball speed that Stephanie has. So I think there are key factors in there that allow her to do something that no one else can do right now. And she's matching up just perfectly on these patterns, and she knows her equipment.
Well, she may have heard that answer, too. I understand she's standing by at the National Bowling Stadium, so I don't know if she heard any of what Carolyn just said. But first off, our congratulations on picking up your 3rd championship. What was, Carolyn has her opinion. I don't know how much you heard, but you tell us what you saw that was working for you tonight.
I cannot hear her.
Yeah, we're going to check on that. So we apologize. With cords everywhere in these productions, all somebody has to
Yes.
do is trip one, and it can unplug something unexpectedly. So we'll hear from our champion in
Okay.
a moment.
Well, one of the other things too, while we're waiting,
Are we
is
good?
Yeah, there
oh,
we
there
are.
we
Good.
go.
There you
Okay,
are.
never mind. Go
I
right
don't know.
ahead.
Were you able to hear my question?
I was.
Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead, please.
Yeah, I mean, she nailed it. I was able to get really far left and get into a zone that, not many girls can get into. I was able to use their carry down and their push being further right of me and using their transition as bounce for me. So my moves were 5 and 3s, 3 and 2, and just kept going and going.
Well, I was going to say, I remember bowling with you. I believe it was in Ohio, correct? I think it was we crossed in Cleveland.
Yeah.
And after the first round, I remember calling Dell and I said, I know who's going to win this tournament. It's the girl I'm bowling with. And I was telling Dell about Stephanie. But what I want to ask you about is I do know that Matt McNeil had talked to you after that event about your spare shooting. And I know you've worked on that. Can you tell us a little bit about what you've done, especially during the break?
Yeah, so I mean, spare shooting obviously a big deal. Strikes for show, spares for dough. And he did. It's not something that I wanted to hear, but once he told me, I kind of came to the realization I do need to put in the extra work on that. And so I definitely put that into my practice routines a lot more. Working on those corners, working on those 3-6-10s, and I just feel more confident when I actually throw my spare ball and get around it. As weird as that sounds, instead of trying to manipulate it and flatten my hand out and do this and that. So that's what I've been working on.
Excellent. Well, I mean, it looks great. And I feel, by seeing you at the start of the season and looking at you now, you look so much more, and please take this as a compliment, you look much more as an all-around bowler than when I first saw you. You looked a little raw, right? It's your first year out there. I mean, you could do amazing things. And just this transition over the few months has definitely taken you to another level. And I'd like to know, we've talked about your physical game, we've talked about your spare game. What do you do with your mental game?
Well, I am Latin, so my attitude and my temper can get a little crazy sometimes. Not gonna lie, but it's really just a matter of hitting that reset button. I've gotten so much better, taking a deep breath, taking a walk if I need to, sticking through my pre-shot routine, whether it's like taking a sip of my water before grabbing my rosin bag or something silly like that. Like I really try to simplify everything, and that's helped me keep my head in it so much better.
Does that
Okay.
explain that kind of angry strike you threw in the championship match after the open frame?
I was
oh,
definitely frustrated, yes.
I
but-
told you. I said, oh my God, that had so much authority. But I know, and Dave, I'm sorry, I have so many questions for her.
That's
but,
all right.
So you are super leader for Rookie of the Year, not official. Super leader is what I'm going to call you right now. And this is probably a question that everybody would ask you. Did you ever think this would be your rookie year?
Definitely not. I mean, I can lie and say, oh yeah, I knew this was going to happen, but you put in the work, you try to pay your dues, and it still doesn't feel real to me. I know I keep saying that, but it's crazy. That's all I can say.
Awesome.
Well, our congratulations. The good news for you is you get to bowl again tomorrow in a completely different pattern.
Yep.
Yeah, so
Bright
I
and
know you're.
early.
Well, listen, it might be hard to get to sleep tonight with the excitement, but we know you're going to be ready, and maybe we'll see you again on Thursday.
Hopefully you do.
All right, congratulations
Excellent.
to our winner,
Congratulations.
Thank you
third-time
so
winner in her
much.
rookie year, Stefanie Zavala. Thank you so much. I want to remind everybody that coverage of that Pepsi Classic kicks off tomorrow from the National Bowling Stadium. The first round of qualifying will be 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 Eastern, right on Bowl TV. So a worthy champion, of course, Carolyn, with this young player, and she's has a chance to do 4, maybe even a 5th rookie win, which not even Leanne Hulsenberg could do.
Uh-huh. Well, hey, you never know. I'm trying to convince her to get back out on the lanes. But the key to this is I love when you hear from these younger players that talk to you. By the way, Sam Houston State collegiate bowler. She put the work in.
That's right,
She
Brad
heard
Hagen, shout out. Yeah.
That's right. She heard things that she didn't want to hear. She didn't like to hear that Matt McNeil said, we need to work on your spares a little bit, but she did. She took the advice and she did it. Those are the things that we need to teach our younger bowlers. And for everybody watching, if you're wondering how to raise your game to the next level, sometimes it's as easy as putting in that little bit of extra work to get you where you need to be. And You cannot, again, you cannot take away the natural talent that this young lady has and what she is able to do on a lane that mostly no one else can do. So if she continues to do this and keeps working at those things that she knows will take her to the next level, she will be unbeatable.
Well, we'll find out. Maybe she will be back with us on Thursday. We will be back with you on Thursday. And our thanks, as always, to Aaron Smith, Emil Williams Jr., and Jason Thomas, who may be vacationing in St. Bart's right now. We're not sure. But nevertheless, we appreciate it. And Curtis Von Kruger also, who does a lot of legwork that you all don't see, but we deeply appreciate. Thank you for watching. We'll see you Thursday evening, 8 Eastern. And we will, but you hopefully will be with Bowl TV tomorrow at 11 for the PWBA Pepsi Classic. For CDB, I'm Dave Lamont. Thank you for watching Bowl TV.